Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillahilladzi hadana lihada wa ma kunna linahtadiya laula an hadana Allah. Alhamdulillah, dear brothers in Islam rahimakumullah, dear sisters in Islam rahimakumullah. Tonight, Saturday, 30 June 2012, inshallah we continue our lessons of this book Riyadh Shaliheen, written by Imam Nawawi rahimahullah. So last week we discussed chapter 23, chapter about al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar, about enjoining good and forbidding evil, to tell people to do good things and to forbid people from doing bad things. Okay? So generally the lessons is to motivate us to have this character, to remind us that we are Muslims, we are ummah, we are nations, which Allah SWT characterized as kuntum khaira ummah, that you are the best nation. Why Muslim become the best nations? Allah SWT said, ta'muruna bil ma'rufi wa tanhauna 'anil munkar. Because you have one characteristic, that you are ta'muruna bil ma'ruf, enjoining people to do ma'ruf, wa yanhauna wa tanhauna 'anil munkar, and you forbid people from doing bad things. So from the last chapter, it reminds us about this important characteristic of Islam. And if we think that we are khairul ummah, and if we want to be khairul ummah, the best ummah, then we need to have this character. The character that we are people who remind each other. One Muslim remind another Muslim. This is the character of Muslim. And by this character, inshallah, we will be the nation which Allah SWT said, kuntum khaira ummatin ukhrijat linnas. You are the best nations which rise up for the people, for all the human beings. Why? Because if someone doing mistake, then we remind them. We told them not to do mistake, and we motivate people to do good things. Okay, so this is character of a Muslim. If you want to be khair ummah, so khair ummah is not just only name, but of course we want khair ummah is truly that we have the character of Khairu Ummah, the best nation. So from Surah Al-Imran, it is clear that the Khairu Ummah, it depends on our characteristic. Okay? And the important characteristic is enjoining good and forbidding evil. So this is our characteristic. Why we have this characteristic also? That's why in one of the verses which quoted by Imam Nawawi, Imam Nawawi quoted first by Surah Al-Tawbah. In Surah Tawbah, Imam Nawawi quoted the verses, وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. So this is another thing, how we see how Muslims should be. Allah Ta'ala said, mu'min wal-mu'minuna wal-mu'minat. So among mu'min, among each other, they are awliya ba'duhum ba'd. They are awliya. Awliya is helper, protector, supporter, who support each other. Helper, they help each other. And this is awliya. So we are awliya to each other. As a Muslim, we need to have this character also. That as a Muslim, we are being brothers. There are many Japanese converted to Islam in this mosque, alhamdulillah. So one of the things that usually we say to them is that, welcome to the big family of Islam. So right now, you are a family of Islam. Means, if you need something, then you can come to me or to any Muslim to ask help. So actually this is what we say to him, to her. I don't know, did he knows the condition of Muslims? But hopefully But at least this is the ideal thing, and we need to be like this. Because Al-Quran said, وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. They are helper to each other. So I need to help you, you need to help me. So this is Muslim. And by doing this, inshallah, again we become khair ummah, the best nation. Khair. And then, what is the best help? What is the best support to your brothers? So the best help is also, of course, to show them the best guidance, which is Islam itself. Okay? The best help is to help our brothers, to help our sisters, the teaching of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the best help. Maybe you can teach your brothers how to cook biryani, for instance. This is useful, because when you need to cook, then you can cook, alhamdulillah. How to cook something, this is useful. You can teach your brothers physics. You can teach your brothers mathematics to help him. Or you can teach your brothers to do mechanical thing. Your brother said maybe very good in this. This is useful, of course. But again, one of the important things is to help our brothers, to remind him about the teaching of Islam. If he forget that he have Lord of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we need to remind them. Don't forget that you have Lord who have created you, give you all the blessings. So you need to do something to your Lord. And actually your Lord already told you to do something. So this is the best hadiyah. The best gift you give to your brothers is to guide them to Islam. That's why after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained that we are Muslim, that we are brothers, that we are helper to each other, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue with the characteristic يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. That you are enjoining, or you are motivating, you are told other brothers to do ma'ruf, and you are forbid other brothers to do munkar. So here, please remember, if other brothers told you to do something or forbid you to do something, then please you should understand it comes because of love as a Muslim, not because of hate. Not because of hate. Because we need to be prepared, we need to be ready. Because sometimes when other brothers told us to do something, then we feel angry to him. When our brothers told us not to do something, then sometimes we feel angry also to him. So this feeling is not good. We need to understand and we need to prepare for the discussion. If someone told us to do something, that we should ask him, why? Why should I do this? If he said something that it is from Allah and it is from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then we follow whoever he is. Whoever he is, or whoever she is. Okay? If he forbid us to do something, then again we ask why? Why I cannot do this? If he told us, if he explained something from teaching of Islam, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then we need to follow him or follow her. Whoever he is or whoever she is. Okay? So this is also important thing, to be prepared, to be ready, because sometimes our ego is so strong. If someone told us not to do something, we feel not good. We love to avoid someone, to forbid someone, but we didn't love that someone forbid us to do something. Okay, so this is our ego. Okay, so inshallah we should guide our ego into good things. Okay, so this is the character of Muslims. And also in the last week, there's a good verse which quoted in this chapter explain that if we didn't have this character, then we are not khairu ummah. Even we are among people with cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Lu'ina, cursed in English. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about Lu'ina alladhina kafaru min bani Israel. So some people of Bani Israel, the Jews, some of them, Lu'ina, mean cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for something bad that they are performing. The continuation of the verses, The first, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كَانُوا لَا يَتَنَاحَوْنَ عَنْ مُنْكَرٍ فَعَلُوهُ. Because they didn't forbid each other about the bad things that they are performing, about the sins that they are performing. Again, it is very clear why Bani Israel, some part of Bani Israel, cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, lu'ina by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Lu'in, in Indonesia, this is used in Indonesia, it's called laknat. Maybe in Pakistan also. Laknat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, lu'ina, mean Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give laknat to some of Bani Israel. Why? Because they didn't do al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar. So all of this showed us the importance of performing al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar. And the next chapter, following this chapter, Imam Nawawi remind us another thing which also important. The chapter name, the chapter 24, which is the new chapter for us in this week, Imam Nawawi explained bab taghlid uqubah min uqubah man amara bi ma'ruf aw naha an munkar wa khalafa qawluhu fi'lahu. Qawluhu fi'lahu aw qawluhu fi'luhu. Wa khalafa qawluhu fi'lahu. So he performed al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar by his lisan, by his word, but his action is different with his lisan, with his tongue. So for them, there is punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Huge punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So this is the next reminder from Imam Nawawi rahimahullah. So in this chapter again, Imam Nawawi give us some verses, not so long chapter, but very important chapter. And inshallah we read some hadith, also some important hadith. Maybe we need to read this hadith many times to remind us. So the verse which quoted by Imam Nawawi, fi Surah Al-Baqarah, verses 44. Allah SWT said, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. So this is good words. How Allah SWT said, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ means, how come you remind others, you told other people to do good things, وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ, and you forget yourself. You told other people to do ma'ruf, to do albir, وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابِ, and you are also reading the kitab. You understand the what is told by kitab. Then Allah SWT said, أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Don't you have aqal? Don't you have mind? Don't you have sense? Okay? Allah SWT remind us. Okay? So this is a really huge reminder, from warning from Allah SWT. Again, in the beginning we understand we need to make al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar. But in performing al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar, we need to be as-sidq. We need to be truthfulness. That if we said something, we really understand that it is good, and we also want to do this. It is not like we said lying. I said to somebody, then you need to perform this. But in my heart I said, actually it's not too good. So this is not sidq, not truthfulness. So we need to be truthfulness. When we perform al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar, we need to be truthfulness. Okay? That's why Allah said, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ. How come you remind other people? You told other people to do albir. Again, albir is, we can say it easily, is good things. Everything teach in Islam, the good things is albir. Okay? Albir. وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ, but you forget yourself. وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابِ, and you forget, and you also reading al-kitab. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ, don't you have mind? Some scholars explain that aqala, is, we use akal actually to took something good for us. So this is akal. This is the function of akal. In Arabic, akal root mean also to keep something, to tie something. So if there's something important, if there's something good, if we have akal, then we need to keep this for us. And this is akal, the scholars say.
It has, sorry, but aqala and aqila. So aqala means to touch, or
To hold something.
to hold something. But aqila, yaqilu. So understand well.
So the scholars say that the root,
The same words, but it has two meanings according to
the wordings.
the harakat.
So basically, the function of akal is to took something good. That's why we have akal. That's why we have our mind, our logic. So if you said something, you told people to do something, then you say, so it is like you said this is important, but why you left this? So it is like you didn't have sense. Why you have this is good, but you left this? You said this is bad, then you took this. That's why Allah said, أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. So in other words, strictly speaking, are you crazy? Don't you have mind? You said this is good, but then you took it away. You take it off. You say this is bad, but then you take it. Okay? So this is a reminder from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another ayat al-Quran, Allah SWT said, في سورة الصاف, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لما تقولون ما لا تفعلون. Or who you believe, why you said something which you didn't perform? You said something which you didn't perform. You didn't do. كبر مقتا عند الله أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون. Okay? كبر مقتا, so there's huge مقتا, hate from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون. You said something but you didn't do it. You said something but you didn't do it. Or also include in another way, you forbid something but you do it. But you done this. You done something which you forbid to others. Okay? So this is the brothers in Islam and sisters in Islam, something which really we need to remind to ourselves. Okay? To remind to ourselves. And then Imam Nawawi also quoted a story about Shu'aib, one of the prophets, Shu'aib alayhi salam. Shu'aib said to his nation, to his ummah, وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أُخَالِفَكُمْ إِلَى مَا أَنْهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ. So I didn't want to do something which I forbid to you. I forbid to you something, so I didn't want to perform those things. Means this explains the character of the Anbiya, of the Prophet. They didn't want to perform something which they forbid to others. Okay? And if we perform something which forbid to others, again, Allah said previously, أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Don't you have mind? Don't you have mind? Okay? أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Okay? So these three verses from Quran. First, في سورة البقرة is a reminder from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Don't you think? Don't you have mind? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لِمَ تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. Why you said something which you didn't do, you didn't perform. كَبُرَ مَقْتًا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَنْ تَقُولُوا مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. There's huge anger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really hate this. If you said something but you didn't perform this. Okay? And the hadith, so we read the hadith now. Only one hadith in this chapter. But this hadith is really strong actually. There's many story, many asar. There's some scholars, even they are pass out when they are reading this hadith. Because scholars means this is often they told people to do something or told people not to do something. When they read this hadith, they falling down, they pass out because reading this hadith. So the hadith is an Abi Zayd, from Abu Zayd, the companions Abu Zayd, Usama bin Haritha radiyallahu anhuma, qala, from Usama bin Haritha radiyallahu anhuma, qala, Usama said, Sami'tu Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam yaqul, that I heard Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, Yu'ta birrajuli yawmal qiyamati fayulqa fin nari fatandaliku aqbatu batnihi. So a man will be brought on the day of resurrection, on the day of judgment, on the day of resurrection, and will be cast into hell. So one person will be bring into the hell of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fatandaliku aqtabu batnihi. So inner part of his button, his stomach, will be spread out.
Baby.
His belly will be spread out.
आते जो है वो बाल के निकली वो जाने में बोल रहा है
فيدور بها كما يدور الحمار في الرحى. So another people of hell come to see him. They come around, they look around to see him. They gathered around like himar in the ar-raha. This is explained millstone. So there's this is technique also, technique to do something in the agriculture. So they put donkey to move the machine. So the donkey move around. Okay.
So in this way he will
He will, and also
explain his
he said, فيدور بها كما يدور الحمار في الرحى. Yeah, these people will go around them in the condition of, remember, his inner part of the belly goes out. فيجتمع إليه أهل النار فيقولون. So again, people of hell come to see him, come to see this one person. So who is this special person? Even people of Jannah, people of hell feel terrible about him, feel terrible about him. Then people of hell start to discuss with him, communicate with him. Ya fulan, malak. Oh fulan, oh brothers, maybe, or brothers. Hey, malaka, why? What's wrong with you? And again, the people of hell recognize this God. They recognize this person. They say, Alam takun ta'muru bil ma'ruf wa tanha 'anil munkar. They say, aren't you the people, the man who always remind people to do good things and forbid people to do bad things? So people on the hell knows him. Isn't he people who always remind people to do good things and forbid people to do bad things? Malak, what's wrong with you? Why you are here? And even you are, we can say, worse than others. We can say that. Because he's in a bad condition and other people see to them. And then they say, Bala, yes. Yes. Kuntu amiru bil ma'rufi wala atihi. Yes, I told people to do good things al-ma'ruf, but I didn't do it. He told people to do good things, but he didn't do it. He didn't do it. So what is known by other people, Other people know that he told anyone to do good things, but then after it, he himself didn't perform this. Okay? And then وَأَنْهَا عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَأَتِي, and I forbid people from doing bad things, but I perform this. I perform those bad things. وَالْيَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مُتَّفَقٌ عَلَيْهِ. So this hadith from Bukhari Muslim. So again, this hadith, again, as we say, many scholars is passed away reading this hadith. Because of course, scholars are people who do this many times, told people to do things, not to do things, and then when they read this, then the person will be cast into hell, will be thrown into the hell in this bad condition. Even among people of Jahannam, people of Jahannam look for him, means he's in terrible condition. In a terrible condition. And again, the discussion, people of hell will say, Ya Fulan Malaka. Oh, what's wrong with you? Isn't it you the one who told us to do good things, and you forbid us to do bad things? And he said also, yes, I told people to do good things, but I didn't do it. I told people not to do bad thing, but I do it. One year do. So again, to remember this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابِ. How come you told people to do good things, to do al-bir, وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ, but you forget yourself? وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابِ, and you also reading kitab, you're reading Quran, you're reading al-kitab, for us, al-Quran. أَفَلَا تَأْكِلُونَ, don't you have mind? Don't you think? Okay? So this is reminder from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So dear brothers in Islam, rahimakumullah, dear sisters in Islam, rahimakumullah, this is a big warning from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That if we say something, then we need to do our best to do it. And if we told someone not to do something, we need to do our best to avoid this. Okay? Scholars explain the main is to be truthfulness about what we say. When you order people to do something, then you're really honest with this, that you yourself also wanted to do this. You yourself try your best to do those things. Okay? So join this with the last verses, then we have two things. First is the obligation, is the teaching of Islam to do al-amru bil ma'ruf. This is another thing. And the second thing is to follow this by performing the ma'ruf. And then to avoid people, to forbid people from doing bad things, and then for ourselves to avoid those bad things for ourselves. Okay. Wallahu a'lam, in my understanding actually, the scholars say basically it is not a condition. I mean, this is like separate things. So we have two wajibat, two obligations, to do al-amru bil ma'ruf and to do the ma'ruf, and also not to forbid people from doing evil, and also for not doing evil. So this is like four obligations, four command. To do to tell people to do good things and to do good things. To avoid people to do bad things and to avoid yourself from bad things. Okay? So this is things that we should try our best. So simply Allah SWT said, Ittaqullah haqqa tuqatih. So we need to try this, to perform taqwa to Allah SWT as best as we can. As best as we can. Okay? Our study of this chapter 24, of course, it doesn't mean that we avoid from doing al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar. This is not the solution. This is not the So this is wrong understanding. If people read this hadith and then they say, okay, then I will not do al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar. Because again, if you didn't do al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar, then you are people with cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That your people will be also punished by Allah subhanahu.
لا تقول وما
Lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. So this is Surah Al-Saf that also we read, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, or who you believe, lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Why you said something which you didn't perform? Why you said something which you didn't perform? Okay? So again, basically this is a separate obligation. So I mean, you need to remind people about ikhlas, for instance. But you yourself, try your best to do ikhlas. But not avoid yourself to remind others to do ikhlas because you're not sure that you are ikhlas or not. I mean I guess some scholars say this is not a condition for people to talk something and he already performed this. This is not condition. Basically not condition. Okay, so this is like separate thing. There's two comments. To tell people to do good things and to do good things. And if you didn't do this, then you have problem. If you didn't do both, then you have more problems. That's why scholars say it also, for one who perform bad things, he has some obligations. First, to do tawbah, and the second is to remind others not to do what he done. This also scholars take from the verses that we read from previously in Surah Al-Ma'idah, when Allah said about Bani Israel, Kanu la yatanahawna an munkarin fa'aluhu. They didn't remind others about the munkar which they performed. So even they perform the munkar, they still need to remind others not to do this munkar. There's some obligation. So again, we have 4 things: to remind others to do good things and not to do good things, to remind others to avoid bad things and to avoid bad things. Okay? To avoid bad things. Okay? And the most important again is to do truthfulness. I mean, you told someone, for instance, to do Salatul Duha, or to avoid, or to do tahajjud, or to do anything. And when you say this, you're really honest with this, that you really think that this is also useful, this is also good, and you try hard to do this. Okay? So maybe let's complete our lessons of this chapter 24. I just remind for me and also for all of us that it doesn't mean by reading this, it doesn't mean that we left al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar. Because I'm afraid to be this person, so I don't want to remind other people about good things. So if you didn't do this, you fall to other things. Because people who didn't do al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar is people which cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what should we do? Then we should remind others, and for us, we should do our best to do the things that we say, inshallah. Basically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ حَقَّ تُقَاتِهِ. حَقَّ تُقَاتِهِ means وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ in other. So you need to try your best. And remember, when we said your best, who give the value this? Who judge that you already perform your best? Who judge? You or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah. So you can lie to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, say, I already done my best, but I cannot do it. If you already done your best and you cannot do it, Allah knows it. And inshallah, Allah will forgive you. But if you lie, you just say it by your tongue, but you try your best, but you didn't try your best actually. Okay? So again, what should we do? What should we react to this is, first, we try to improve ourselves to do this thing. And then also to remind others. To remind others. Okay? And again, don't be afraid to remind others, but be afraid not to do what you say. Okay? So this is a little bit things we need to remind to ourselves, to remind to others, and also to do what you say. Okay? I'd like to stress the first thing, that we are become khairu ummah because we do al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar. And if we didn't do this, then Allah curse us, as explained to Bani Israel. Lu'ina Bani Israel. They are cursed because they didn't do al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar. So we need to do al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar. But the other thing, if you perform al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar, you need to be honest about this. You need to be sidq in doing this. When you told someone not to do something, you really mean this. Not just lip service, not just to be like a good person, but you really think that this is good. So everyone needs to do this. And we need to try our best to do this and to avoid the bad things. And again, of course, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to be a good people, to be muttaqin, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us not to be these people which thrown to the hell of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and even people of Jannah, people of Jahannam feel terrible about these people. Khair, that's all for this week, for the chapter 24. Inshallah, we continue next week with the new chapter 25, about amanah in the chapter 25. So hopefully what we read in the last two chapters about al-amru bil ma'ruf and the following about the punishment for people who didn't say about what he said and what he performed. Okay. هدانا الله وإياكم أجمعين سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Just one comment?
Of course.
When we say Amr Ma'ruf, when we ask people to do and tell them to avoid bad things, at least we must